So, then we do have to move to Dr. Stefan Knauß'S, who is joining us. And, I leave the floor to you directly, so and without taking up more of your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you so much, Javiera, for this incredible, insightful presentation. As you said, my name is Stefan Knauß'S. I have a background in philosophy and political science, and one of my research topics is rights of nature, with a focus on Latin America as well. I truly appreciate the depth and ambition of your project. It really sheds a light on a very important topic. And I also want to thank the organizers for this kind invitation. It's a special invitation. Thank you for having this. I have a couple of questions. Coming from or looking at the logics of your project, I think you identify a conceptual weakness in the dominant framework of sustainable development, as well as the historical marginalization of Latin American approaches during its formation. So my first question is, do you see actually a causal link between these two deficits, and could reactivating these marginalized southern perspectives in a way repair the logic of the current framework to better address the systemic crisis? The next one is like a personal interest. Since I'm working on the rights of nature, the topic of anthropocentrism versus non-anthropocentrism is always there in the discussion. And we are also working with the Harmony for Nature people on a non-anthropocentric version of the SDGs. Actually, it's an exciting process. And I want to ask you, you highlight the reactivation of Latin American paradigms like eco-development and others. And during your review of half a century of UN norm production, did you actually find historical traces of this debate between the anthropocentric and non-anthropocentric approaches? And do you believe a non-anthropocentric reinterpretation of sustainable development is in a way possible or helpful, or is this a debate from the past that we should avoid here? And if I may add another one, you also use the concept of coloniality of power, which I worked a lot on, to explain why certain Western models became central, why structural critiques from the South were marginalized. Were you able actually to identify specific mechanisms of marginalization, and were you able to uncover these mechanisms during your archival research of the former UN negotiations, or is it more like a vague umbrella term to say, well, this took place under the situation of coloniality of power? Thank you so far.
Great. Should I think it's good to give Javiera some time to respond to Professor Knauß'S comments before we turn to Julian, and then any other comments you might have in response to.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. They're really interesting. I'm gonna start for the last one because I have a good story about that. Actually, yes, well, I use it as a conceptual framework overall to use some terms that helps me to explain some episodes or movements of the world, so almost. But what I think that it's a very funny, at least now we can laugh about it. It's reviewing the documents when the declaration of Cocoyoc, that it's a declaration that was in the 74, that it almost no one knows it, and it's been called a very radical declaration because it addressed the problem of colonialism as something that it also is causing this environmental problem. There is a telegram of Kissinger that I was able to find in the Kissinger telegrams that it says that orders all the ambassadors of one of the ambassador of the U.S. in Chile to go to talk with the ECLAC president, one the ambassador in Geneva to talk with the current General Secretary of the UN, and one in Nairobi to talk with someone with the president or main secretary of the UN Environmental Program. That it says that literally says we addressed this declaration, but we believe we have to discourage these conspiracy theories of colonization, and literally says that. So, well, there are very funny, at least to call it, very interesting episodes that happen, that we can see how these different powers move and how they pull their influence, and something that was a declaration.
If you have any other responses to Professor Knauß'S questions,
about the question about anthropocentrism and harmony of nature, it's very interesting that despite these other models or these early discussions that they were more based in the relationship of humans and environment, they were centrist. They put the human as the main actor in this problem and identify as an actor. So technically, I don't know how, if it's non-anthropocentric, because there is a main human factor in the analysis. But what if the verse from the classic anthropocentric discussions is it seems the human as it talks from the point of view of human, but sets the human as a part of the ecosystem, not like someone who can dominate the ecosystem. So it's talking from humanity, for humanity, but it understands that we are not over or on top of this. So I don't know. I don't have much knowledge in non-anthropocentric current theories. So I don't know if it's feasible to fit in this discussion. I don't know if it fits perfect, but you can identify there was another way they were not putting the human as the creator or the dominant of the nature, more than something that it's part of the nature. But it talks from the point of view of humanity. So
okay.